What's up, my Nerf friends? Welcome to the Forest tier list after the Hedy patch. So I know, tier list is a controversy topic and a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. Just keep in mind, a lot of people who watch this video might be a new player, so I understand if you don't agree with my opinion, but keep in mind, this is my opinion after playing the game for 6 months and also being a free-to-play player. So I'm gonna talk about how I judge these units. Firstly, I have 5 tiers, so you can see the first tier is the best unit. So these units are obviously the best. You can pretty much use them anywhere and you can find a lot of situation using them. And also good is similar to the best unit. They are pretty much in a similar ballpark of like usability, but they're just tiny little bit worse and they can be replaced by other units. And usually the best unit are the core unit in the elements like forest, and good are just good unit that you can swap out in and out depending on the stages. And we have the good in some stages. This tier is specifically for a unit that can do very well in certain stages, but otherwise you won't really use him. But if the situation is right, you would definitely use these characters. And then we have another tier, which is the budget version. These are usually lower rarity units that is good but not good enough, and once you get the good unit, you usually would not use the budget version anymore. So there's that tier. And the last tier is the tier that no one uses. These characters, pretty much no one uses them, and if you do manage to find use for them, you are pretty much delusional and you are just having copium for your waifu. And I understand this game can't be played just for waifu reason alone, and I don't disagree. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. First, Hedy. Hedy is the newest unit. She is a forest Kali, meaning she can teleport and also create a lines of green tiles, and I'm gonna put her at good. So she is definitely a pretty strong unit despite what other people believe. A lot of people say she's not good, you cannot find place for her in forest team. I actually disagree, because if you just say she's like the worst version of where is it? Kare? I actually think they can be worked together. You can put both of them in the same team and create just this massive amount of tiles and get like a lot of auto attack around like a big targets. Overall, I think Hedy and Sikare, they are kind of the same units. They are really long cooldown, but they have really high burst potential. So put them in the good tier. And since you also put Sikare here, I'm also going to talk about Sikare. So Sikare is a cross converter, so she's like Hedy, but she doesn't teleport, but she also convert one more line, which is the horizontal and also the vertical line. And she has 5 cooldown. If you get a breakthrough tree, you also get 4 cooldowns. And this kind of combo nicely with Hedy. For baseline, Hedy has 4 cooldown, and if you get breakthrough tree, she also get 4 cooldowns. So you can kind of create like 2 lines of tiles just surrounding like a 3 tile boss, and this will let you just do a shit ton of damage. And also maybe you can prep even tiles for after the Aurora time because of how Hedy works. That can actually lead to quite a lot of damage, and Hedy stats is actually not bad. So they're in a good tier. Obviously I know the max breakthrough is very strong, but I'm not gonna evaluate them based on the maximum breakthrough. I'm gonna evaluate them based on the budget version, probably the base tier and also the breakthrough 3 tiers, so keep in mind on that. And then next one we have Paloma. Paloma is a green sniper that has pretty good capabilities for doing big damage for like big target as well. And the more enemies on the stage, the better Paloma is, especially units like the Crow Eye, which spawn a lot of enemies. Paloma is just insane on there because your damage scale infinitely based on how much enemy on there. She is just the #1 unit to deal with this kind of stages, and outside of that, she's also a really high DPS unit. I mean, you can just use her whatever. I do think Paloma is great, and you should definitely try her if you have her. And we have Barrel. So Barrel is also a forest detonator, same with Hero, but I would say Hero is in the ballpark of best unit. Actually, Hero is a bit better than Paloma, and Barrel, I would say she's kind of behind these 2 units as well. Barrel, what can I say about her? Barrel is a good detonator, but she's just kind of lacking in terms of the usability outside of damage, because that's all he does. She only does damage, and Sure, it can find some use for her, and she does do quite a lot of damage, but a lot of time you just need something more than damage, right? And she only really pop off after you get like after 10 tiles. So if you don't do more than 10 tiles, she just doesn't really do that much damage. And kind of like a worse version of Aurelia. Aurelia is a 5-star detonator in Forest, and she's definitely a best unit. Aurelia, what can I say? Her active skill makes you do more damage and also do 100% piercing attack. So on unit that is bigger than 1 tile, you are doing double damage for your normal attack. This is really insane to think about, right? And also, if you're able to achieve Aurora time, your active skill actually don't go away, so you can actually do the piercing attack again. Aurelia just do immensely high amount of damage, and if you have Aurelia, there's not much reason to use Barrel, sadly. Barrel has one niche though, which is she can do defense ignoring damage, and if you do have monsters, there's actually a couple elite this day that can have like a lot of defense the lower health you go. So Barrel can be pretty useful over there because the crystal does ignore defense. Other than that, use Uraya. Next one, we have our Forest OC Aurorians, and she is, wait, I forgot her name. Wait, Mythos. Yes, sorry. Mythos is, I have a kind of mixed feeling about her. She is definitely one of the highest attack stat unit in the game. She does a lot of damage. She's a forest sniper, and she has an ability that can do detonator style damage, and the more you keep your active skill, the more damage you can potentially do in a single turn. So it's like the OCO mechanic, right? You stack up the bits and you can burst on a single turn, and in essence that is a good thing, but I think after the math is out, most people realize that you probably just better off just spam the ability. You don't have to save the bits at all, unless the stage demand it. All in all, Mythos is definitely one of the very strong units for Alchemy Codex because there's a lot of single tile boss over there, but I wouldn't say she's the best unit just because her lack of use outside of single tile boss, but I would say she's definitely stronger than Barrel. Because of that, she's like one of the strongest in Forest for dealing with single tile boss. Nickiness, she's a 4-star converter, best unit just because how good converter is. I mean, there's not much to talk about her. You use her because you want to convert green tiles, that's pretty much it. Her equipment is not really worth mentioning. Her chain is a roll one and is not really good, but just because how strong converter is and how flexible they are, best unit. Midgard. Midgard is kind of really high A tier, I would say, the good tier. Midgard is also a forest sniper that has the teleport capabilities, and her teleport is 2 cooldowns. So if you get preemptive strike at breakthrough 3, you can also teleport on turn 1, but the range is pretty small, so it's not like super useful, I would say. But man, her damage is super high on like general mob stage, and because of the flexibility of being able to teleport, she's just one of the strongest off captain, and also just a really good unit to have just in case, you know, some stages does need teleport. I not gonna lie, I'm a little bit biased to it regard because she is my first 6 stars and I use her to clear a lot of my storage stages. I love her to bits, and also the equipment's execution sound, chef kiss, man, chef kiss. And we have Gabriel. I would say Gabriel is somewhere a low A tier. Gabriel is useful, but she's just kind of, I don't know how to say her, a little bit RNG based. And if you have her preemptive strike, you can kind of like go into the stage, keep on refreshing until you get like one time you actually get the green tile conversion. Other than that, she's just kind of that. She's a one-trick pony. You go into the stage, you refresh until you get green tiles. A little bit annoying to use because you do need a little bit of RNG. And other than her abilities, is nothing much worth mentioning about. You have like a lot of enhanced tile generation from your equipment, so she does synergize very well with hero. If you don't hero, I forgot to mention this, hero equipment is using enhanced tile to do more damage, right? So if you have more enhanced tile, you can support hero even more. But overall, I think her kit does not surpass the best unit tier, and she's the low good tier. And then we have Pack. So Pack, I would say, even though she's a 4-star 4-tile converter, I would say she is probably a high good tier because her chain is kind of awkward to use. It's an X shape, and then her equipment doesn't really do that much as well. And you combine the X shape and then the lackluster equipment. And then the a little bit more limited conversion, because you can only convert one color to green. I would say she is high good tier. And you can argue she's kind of the same with Nikiness because you both use both of them for conversion anyway. But I'll say Nikiness is a tiny bit better than Pack. And then we have the next unit, which is not 6-star. We are actually done with 6-star now. Kakusta. So I would say Kakusta is good in some stages. She is specifically good for repositioning some of the one tile unit, and she actually do okay damage. I mean, she's a sniper, really decent stats. Other than that, nothing much mentioning about her. Use her if you want to reposition enemy. There's one enemy called like Mantis God or something. She walk like across the map all the time, and you can just move her away and have buying you more times, or you just want to move her to a better position so you can attack the boss more times, if that makes sense. But yeah, she's a nice to have enemy, but I mean, she's nice to have units, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty much it. And we have a unit that I don't remember the name because it's not available for summoning right now. This is a unit that is available during the pre-register, and she is, I wouldn't say no one used them because it's truth. Robin. No one used Robin. I barely see anyone use Robin. She's a detonator style unit that doesn't really do much. It's much better to just use Aurelia. She's also a 5-star unit, and you can summoning for her to actually get preemptive strike instead of this guy. This girl just get gimped because you cannot summon her for dupes. Anyway, for now, no one used her, and after she actually added to the pool, I can see somebody use her, but not so much. Her kit is not that great. Hedy, I would say Hedy is good in some stages. Actually, I think Hedy is one of the best unit in the good in some stages tier. Hedy is the centerpiece of the damage over time build, and she is very, very strong in Elysium. She's like one of the key units in Elysium, because in Elysium, a lot of the bosses have super high amount of health, but they are not immune to poison. And this makes it Hedy just excel at it. Hedy can do diagonal attack, and her attack has chance to poison, and also her active skill can slow the enemy and also inflict 2 stacks of poison. Hedy very strong to have, and she's also a very decent unit for Calamity Codex because you have diagonal attack, and yeah, she just do really good damage. All in all, if there is another tier for best unit in Elysium, she is probably one of them. Naruxel. So Naruxel, I'm tempted to put her in good tier, but I would just say, yeah, let's put her in good tier. Naruxel is kind of like a more damage focused teleporter than Wendy. I'm gonna compare Wendy with Naruxel here. So Naruxel can generate enhanced tile whenever you teleport. She can also cleanse the spike paths and some of the annoying tiles that kind of sabotage you. And it's pretty useful because Total are probably going to add more and more mechanic like this to just ruin your game, right? And having Naruxel able to teleport and also create enhanced tile and also cleanses things is very useful, right? And then we have Wendy here, which is kind of similar to Naruxel. So she is also a global teleporter, but she is more focused on the survival aspect. Whenever you teleport, you leave a feather behind, and this feather you can actually just click on it to go back. So having Wendy means that a lot of time monsters just can't touch you, even if they want to. They're kind of similar. I guess I want to put Wendy down a little bit because she is a 4-star. She doesn't have the dual element like Naruxel does. I guess having more damage is more useful in Alchemy Stars because, I mean, a lot of bosses these days just have a lot of health. So yeah, that's my reasoning. And then we have Louise. Louise is also A tier, but I want to bump him up a little bit here behind Megard. So Louise is one of the unit that you can put into pretty much any comp just to boost up your damage. She's a support that can give you double chain. I mean, double chain means more damage, and bursting boss down is pretty common these days. You actually need to burst down bosses. Having Louise does make things a little bit easier, and you also get some healing of Aurora time of Louise. I would say Louise is quite a good unit, and if you have her max breakthrough, definitely use her more. But because of I guess 2x channel, just good unit overall. And then we have Daunt. So Daunt is a welfare unit that we get from our first event, the Eye of the Storm. And So far, I haven't seen anyone use her. She is a sniper that can heal a little bit, like very minimal heal. And she has an AoE damage that can do AoE damage from her active skill. Pretty lame abilities, and even you get maximum breakthrough for free. I still don't see people use her. So yeah, if you want to use her, I actually think you could, but I don't really think she's a budget version of anyone. She just kinda doesn't do much. And then we have Uraya. Uraya is definitely a good unit, and she's a really strong healer. I'll kind of put her behind here. Aurelia, the only healer in Forest, you are going to use her if you want to climb Spire, and if you have Forest team, I would definitely recommend raising Uraya because she has a lot of healing and she can convert tiles to enhanced tiles, increasing your damage capabilities with hero, for example. Oh no, I have nothing much to say about Aurelia. She's just good for healing. That's pretty much it. And then we have Hasolo, budget version of good. Hasolo is a 1 tile converter and she has a 1-turn cooldown if I'm not remembering wrong. She can also do bleeding damage, and her chain also do bleeding damage. I think Hasolo is one of the best budget unit in entire Alchemy Star, and you actually get this unit for free if you play the event from Ocean Sovereign. I can say Hasolo is immensely strong characters in the right situation as well, and a lot of Aspire stages you can also use her to like supplement some bleeding damage, but bleeding overall is a category that get overshadowed by Nails. So because Nails is also a 4-star and Hasolo is also a 4-star, a lot of the time you don't really use Hasolo anymore for bleeding because Nails just do it so much better. So all in all, I do think Hasolo just becoming a budget version of the 4-tile converters if you want to use converters. So yeah, that's my opinion. Then we have the Kirito here. Wait, what's the name again? Silva. Okay, Silva. Silva is okay. She has a, I mean, not she, he's a he. He has the equipment that can help your team ignore defense on a single unit. So if there is only one unit on the battlefield, he can make your team do 35% ignore defense. Overall, ignore defense is not really that strong to begin with, and she can teleport to the edges of the map. He can teleport to the edges of the map, and I don't think that's super useful, but teleport is okay. I guess he is just a budget version of good. And we have Lester. Lester, I would want to put her in the same category as Hasolo. She is kind of similar to Odie, but usually if you have used Odie in your team, you wouldn't use Lester. That's just the nature of it, because you can only stack up to 5 stack of poisons on an enemy maximum. If they change that in the future, you can stack up to maybe 20 or something. Then yeah, Lester is very strong, but right now, Odie is just better than Lester, and usually you don't want 2 of the same poison unit on a single team. So budget unit up good. And we have Jola. I mean, does anyone use Jola? Don't get your flower near this guy. he's gonna molest them, dude. Just a crazy dude that convert all your tiles. Rarely see any use for this guy other than the Shadow Blast boss, which make every single tile broken on this first turn, and you can probably use him to just get your better for an opening hand. But other than that, he is pretty bad. I mean, no one ever use him. And then Athena. Athena is actually a 3-star unit that I'm going to put on the good. Actually a little bit higher than Silva. A lot of people don't know that you actually can poison with Athena equipment. And because of that, she's actually used in some Elysium stages, surprisingly, being a 3-star unit. And having to swap tiles is actually not a bad ability at all, and her cooldown is decently low. And because she's a 3-star, you get your maximum breakthrough right away. You don't need to get dupes, and I mean, you get her dupes all the time anyway. You probably play Alchemy Stars. And because of the reason she can poison with her chain combo once you unlock her equipment, I do think she's quite good, and swapping tiles just nice addition. And we have their kind of bad teleporter, Dove. No one really uses Dove. I mean, why would you use Dove? She's kind of like a really bad Midgard. Doesn't do much damage. Her teleport range is limited. Her cooldown is 2 seconds, just like Midgard. No reason to use her. We have our scammer Jomo here. Jomo, I want to say somebody use him. So I'm gonna bump Jomo a little bit to the front, like here. Jomo is actually a very okay character when you are starting out, because he does has one of the best abilities, question mark. He has a 0 cooldown ability that can just swing all the time, and whenever you kill an enemy, it refreshes. What can I say? He's okay. I mean, because he's a 3-star, he's getting limited by her ability. His ability to not being able to Ascension 3. So her stat department is bad, and we all know damage dealer really needs that to be better. Just an okay unit when you are starting out. Don't invest too much into him. And then we have this guy, this girl, I don't know the name. Leah. Leah. She's pretty much the worst unit in the game, I would say. She teleport and then teleport back or something. I don't know what she does. Her ability, teleport to a location. Is it global? Oh, my bad. She doesn't even she doesn't even teleport. She record your current location, and then after you done your turn, you come back to the location. That is so bad. Why would you use him? I don't know. No one use her. I have never seen anyone use her. That's my conclusion. And also, this is Clover. I would say Clover is somewhere around here. Again, it's just a 3-star damage dealer. No one really used 3-star damage dealer because their stat is capped. Yeah, that's all for the forest tier list. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I know people are going to hate me for this. If you disagree, I would like to hear your opinion on why, and it's probably wrong though. But all in all, thank you guys for watching. Gently click the like button if you agree with this tier list. If you don't, hey, dislike is useless these days anyway. YouTube hide them. Subscribe if you want more Alchemy Stars content. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.